Good morning, Mango Nation! If you've been subscribed for a while, you're already likely familiar with AURESSCOSPLAY and the reprehensible and outright illegal things she's done. If you're not, I've linked a playlist of my last 3 videos documenting her history and behavior. Regardless of this video, this one can be watched on its own as we dive into her new brand as the conservative cosplayer. Her push to become conservative likely came from the fact that the cosplay community wants absolutely nothing to do with her due to the fact she's an Epstein wannabe and has a crush on her dad, among many other things. And she views the cosplay community as left-leaning. I will say, as a whole, the cosplay community probably is left-leaning, but I don't think either political side really wants to claim her given her history. Given that I've already covered her past controversies in previous videos, this one's going to be a little bit different. We're going to take a look together at the new content she's been making. I'm joined today with my good friend Cherry, and me and Cherry are actually starting a podcast called The Fruitcast this month, which I will link in the description. Now, Cherry doesn't know Oris lore, so this will be her first introduction to this person, just like some of you.
Cherry, you don't know about this person, but I've made 3 videos on this person. She's done everything you can possibly imagine, from having her dad take her nudes, to admitting to having a crush on a 9-year-old, to sending nudes to children, to killing her dog, to blackface, to transphobia. Anything that you can get in trouble for, she's done. And she's rebranded recently to conservative cosplayer. And I thought, so I'm like, okay, in my last 3 videos I've documented what she's done. This time I'm like, you know what, we should react to her new content. I think we should try, a different style of video, and I think that we should give her content a chance. So we're not gonna talk about her controversies. I mean, I'm sure they'll come up, but we're gonna watch a few videos here, and we're gonna start with with a video called "Why I'm Leaving the Left and Distancing Myself from the Woke Cosplay Cult."
Oh God! So I should clarify. I know, as you know, I know literally nothing about this individual. I literally know nothing about their lore or who they are currently or who they were in the past. I'm as blind as a viewer who's just now stumbling into this corner of the internet. So,
well, you're gonna enjoy this.
Hi guys, my name is Kelly. I'm a cosplayer and a conservative, and I want to make this video talking about my experience as a cosplayer and a conservative surrounding myself with woke cosplayers.
She's already said the word woke.
Oh.
She must. Look how grimy her room is. Like, look how empty this is. This looks like you just put like a TV and like a shelf into like an abandoned house.
Is she wearing a wig right now? I can tell that has to be a wig, right?
Yes. All of her wigs look like they were like tied to the back of a truck, like a semi-truck on the highway, and just like brush your wigs. Oh my god, wait, I just realized if you look in the left corner, you can see a bunch of unbrushed wigs just on the floor.
Oh my god. I don't want to start making fun of her physical appearance off the bat.
You
but
should.
Also,
remember, she sent nudes to a child.
Oh, never mind. Oh, fuck this person.
She also had a crush on a 9-year-old. She has tweeted out many times how she thinks black people are violent and terrible. Like, you got full range to like make fun of her.
Okay, well, I have.
She also killed her dog.
Like, wait, what?
Oh my, yeah, she killed her dog by feeding it plastic.
Okay, what I had prepared now is like not nearly mean enough now. I was just going to say her like 50% of her appearance right now looks like it's fake and just glued onto her, and she's like just she's like a plastic doll, like barely holding herself together.
She looks like AI generated. But let's continue.
Now, if you read the title, it may seem like I'm implying that I'm never cosplaying again.
We should be so lucky.
But that is not what I'm saying.
One can hope.
I'll still cosplay, but this time when I do it, I want to separate myself from the woke mob.
Oh my god. That's the most pick me shit ever. That's literal like, Blair White, I'm not like other transgenders. I'm a right winger. Like, dude, no one cares. You're not special.
I know she's only doing it because she's like meeting the buzzword requirement, but I really hope in the video will she clarify what is the woke mob, because that can mean a lot of things. We know this person is a pedophile, so is that what they're referring to? Like people who are anti-pedophile, is that like the woke mob coming after her?
Well, that's so she'll like. I think that's well. I'll get into what I think in a minute, because it'll come up.
Who doesn't want me anyway?
Okay, the reason that they do not want her is because she sent nudes to children. Like, this is why, like, she's all like, oh, I got canceled, the left doesn't like me. It's like, my brother in Christ, you're a pedophile. You have admitted on camera to being into a 9-year-old. Like,
He's fucking it.
what do you expect? This is
She's in the
guys.
courtroom.
Was Epstein canceled by the woke mob?
Yeah, she's in the courtroom, and the judge sends her to multiple lifetimes for child molestation and possession of child porn, and she's just like, "This is because I'm conservative."
Yeah, she's like, you hate to see a conservative woman winning.
Oh
And they're most likely very happy to hear that I'm leaving the cosplay community,
So true.
but still
Very happy.
cosplaying.
Now
I know
leave
I'm
all
letting them win
communities.
by leaving,
Yes.
but this isn't about their approval.
Yeah, that's why I'm making a 27-minute video. It's not for approval. Nope.
It's about not wanting to be a part of this cult anymore. And I'll explain later in the video how the cosplay community is like a cult. In
By
my
the way,
time in the cosplay...
I have
Yeah.
a quick question.
Yeah.
So she's leaving the woke cosplay community. Like, was she a leftist, or is she like just talking about like certain cosplay spaces?
I don't know. Like, I don't think she was ever a leftist, because she was tweeting out shit like black people are violent in nature, and like calling Mexicans filthy, and saying that it's only okay to be Mexican if you're white passing, but you should be ashamed of your heritage. She's always been like violently racist, so I don't think she's ever been a leftist.
It's because the title is "Why I'm Leaving the Left," and she's not really. Maybe
Yeah.
she gets more into it.
Yeah,
I don't know
wait a
any
minute.
left-
She's never even been a leftist.
cosplay community, people always found me problematic.
By problematic, I would once again like to remind you that she sent nudes to children, had her dad take her nudes, which she then sent to those children. She killed her dog, and she's violently racist. Like, I'm not like, and it's not just like, oh, she's had a hot take on Twitter, racist. No, like, she has straight out tweeted, like, I hate Mexicans. Unironically. Multiple times.
And she said, like, I assume she's like said N-word with a hard R and other like.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking.
Oh, yeah.
She's done multiple bingos on the racism bingo chart.
Yeah, but it's not even just that. Like, she'll tweet out why she hates certain races or her beliefs about certain races, and it's pretty bad. Yeah.
And there have been hate pages about me since.
So true. I ran one of those when I was like 16.
Since 2018, maybe 2019.
Actually, I started mine in 2016.
And the hate doesn't
You're
stop,
a
even as
day
I
one
post this
hater.
video. As I
You joke, but I actually was one of her first haters. Like, I've been like screenshotting her shit and like posting it since like 2016.
I know you've made multiple videos on her already, but are you like part of her downfall? Is that are you in her lore?
Probably. A lot of the screenshots that people spread are screenshots that I took. Me and this other page called Oh I Want Some More, I would say, were two big contributors. Nico was too, because you know Nico, my IRL best friend, he was one of the minors that she sent nudes to.
Oh god.
Yeah. Classic. Oh, my sister was also involved in her lore too. Also, I interviewed her on a live stream once. It was
this person.
Yes. She's a fan of me.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She is a fan of me. She used to DM me and tell me she loves my videos, and I just call her a pedophile.
So is she gonna watch this video?
She probably will. She probably will.
If she's watching this, do not message me. I think you are ugly and a pedophile. Please leave me alone.
They prepare to get attacked by the left. There have been problematic cosplayers in the cosplay community as well, but the cosplay community fails to understand it's not the people like Snow the Salt Queen or Momokun or me that makes the cosplay community so toxic.
Snow has literally been convicted of killing somebody. A Momokun has admitted to sexually assaulting people. But no, it's the woke left that's toxic, not literal felons, not literal convicted felons. Snow is a convicted felon. Like, what are you talking about? She has killed somebody. But no, guys, it's the woke left that's arguably worse. It's worse to make fun of someone online than to shoot and kill someone.
This person really is the Jeffrey Epstein of the cosplay world.
See, that would imply that she would have people to invite to her island. Not even other pedophiles want her.
He's been ousted from the
cosplay
lolicon and
community so
pedophile
toxic
community.
is this leftist group thinking. You say something to cosplayers they find right-leaning and problematic, and according to them, you'll get canceled for life.
The belief, the thing said in question is, black people have a violent nature, and I hate filthy Mexicans. Those are her beliefs.
Is she going to actually, like, state things people got mad at her for, or is she going to vaguely gesture? Because we already know she's, like, one of the worst people ever, and a pedophile, so there's, like, is it the racism, the fucking pedophilia, the domestic terrorism? What crime is she being? What crime is she doing her YouTuber apology for?
She's also a stalker and a doxer, and apparently she was, like, abusive to her own mom and shit. And, like, there's, like, 1,000 things. Like, yeah. She's also... she hates autistic people, despite, no offense, very clearly being autistic. She straight up has posted, like, a ton of rant paragraphs on Facebook about how much she hates autistic people and how she thinks she should bully them to suicide and stuff like that and harass them.
Very, very weird, because not gonna lie, she does seem autistic herself.
She death threatened her grandma on Facebook too, which I found very funny.
Yeah, I say that as an autist myself, to be
of
clear.
Course.
But
I mean, we're both autistic. But...
yeah, she has the bad strain of autism. We have the based strain.
So true.
You'll get chased out of the cult. Sometimes this is where the cancel culture comes in. They will put on this persona of being tolerant and accepting until you question anything they preach about.
The things we preach about in question being not having sex with children.
Listen, I went over to the left because I heard they were accepting of different sexualities, and when I told them that I fucked kids, they fucking kicked me out. So much for the tolerant left.
Does that sound familiar? Because that's exactly what woke culture is like. That is the left in a nutshell.
True, the left in a nutshell is not liking pedophilia. I think I agree with her, actually, on this one.
It was like that for me anyway. I was born into a very liberal family, and I would be lying if I never said I was never brainwashed by being on the left or brainwashed by woke cosplayers into believing I'm a bad person.
My brother in Christ, you killed your dog. Like, like, you're not. I don't even like know what to say to that.
I really need. The worst part is knowing that she was never really a leftist. She was probably like at best in like progressive leaning spaces, and now she's like saying the woke mob tried to murder her because she murdered her dog and is a pedophile.
And wants to fuck her dad. Classic.
Oh.
She also pissed on a live stream and made out with her cousin.
Oh my fucking
Like I said,
how
everything.
how does this person keep getting worse and worse?
She is. I really hope that people watching this, if you're watching this video and hearing all these references, once again, I mentioned a playlist at the beginning of this video. You need to go watch the playlist where I actually document her lore with like screenshots and videos and like go through like all of the crap she's done. I speak to like her IRLs and stuff too. Check those out. It gives context for everything I'm talking about.
It's like you gotta watch all 500 parts of the Chris Chan documentary series to properly understand what we're talking
She
about.
is arguably worse than Chris Chan. I genuinely believe she's worse than Chris Chan.
No, I can see it, 'cause
absolutely.
to my knowledge, Chris Chan has only committed one sex crime, and this person has committed fucking how many?
I can't even count.
Because of my views. My mom and a lot of her friends are pro-abortion, and my dad
Based.
believes in that leftist BS about transgenderism, that gender and sex are different or some BS like
Based.
that. Gender is a social construct.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. In the past videos I made, she was claiming to be gender fluid, mind you. And I gave her, everyone told me she was grifting, and I gave her the benefit of the doubt, and I'm like, I'm gonna let her identify how she chooses to identify. But nope, my commenters were right. It was all a grift, clearly. Wow. Classic.
Bullshit. And I would not, and I would always say no to that. Gender is
No, you didn't! You were identifying as gender fluid for like 2 years. What do you mean you were saying no to that? Clearly you weren't. Either you were grifting or you're just ashamed now because you've watched too much Blair White.
This person seems like they don't have any critical thinking skills at all, and they kind of just go to wherever they think a community will accept them. And it makes sense that they're choosing conservatives now because they are a known pedophile, and not a lot of space is accepting of those people.
So true.
biological. So where did this all start? So I've never known about the left and right until last year.
What? No.
She's almost 30, by the way. Are you fucking kidding me? You are terminally online. And I can't.
How does she not know? Does she know?
Does she
no,
know?
She doesn't.
No, she doesn't. Dude, she's got like one brain cell like bouncing around in her head like a fucking like DVD screensaver. Like,
it's actually so amazing. You can tell that she has no brain cells bouncing around in her head, because when she talks about the woke people or the woke mob, you can easily like swap that out for SJW or whatever, like from 2016, because she's just one of those people that hears the buzzwords and latches onto them because she can't think for herself.
you know what's fucking me up?
What?
It looks like she photoshopped her face onto her face. Like, if you look at that line, like, I know it's makeup.
Yes.
Like, that's not even fat. That's just really bad makeup. It just looks like she's photoshopped her face onto her face, and it doesn't even look good.
No, that's what I was trying to say earlier with, like, so much of her body just looks fake and glued together. It does.
She cut off someone's... She's a fucking skinwalker or something. She cut off somebody's, like, face. Like the Joker in, like... You know, like, the Joker in, Gotham? How he, like, cuts off... His face gets cut off and he puts it back on? That's what she looks like. That's what she looks like.
She really did pull a Hannibal Lecter.
For real.
When there was an episode of Dr. Phil with Matt Walsh debating woke activists, and I really agreed a lot with what he said. So I started watching Matt Walsh's content ever since.
This always happens. They always...
No! Blair White! No! Oh my god, of course. It's all coming together. Dude, do you think she watches Chip Chilla? I bet she watches Chip Chilla.
I see so many of these dumb fucks. This is what they do. They'll just go, I watched the newest Matt Walsh video and my life was changed forever. I found Blair White. And my whole worldview is different
guess
now.
what? I found a gun.
Blair was the first conservative I actually started watching.
I thought it was Matt Walsh.
And I was agreeing with her, too, of course. Eventually, after watching all these conservatives on YouTube...
Her fucking right, like, the eyelash on the right is just coming off. And she's not even doing anything. It's just coming off. You can see it's, like, coming off at the end.
Yeah, I see it. Oh my god, it's holding on to for dear life.
Awful.
And always agreeing with them. That's when I finally put together. It's not that I'm a bad person, like these cosplayers are telling me.
Oh, really?
I'm just not woke and liberal. And
Oh my god.
Fucking kids to own the libs. Oh my god. This is awesome. This is just awesome.
Wait, I forgot, did you say she killed her dog or she fucked her dog?
She killed her dog. To my knowledge, she's not into bestiality, but it would not surprise me. I mean, she's already into kids and incest. There's only one more to complete the unholy trinity.
Yeah, the Triforce of fucking...
The Triforce of you should be put in a wood chipper. The wood chipper Triforce.
Yeah, I'm going. Also, I do feel it's already evidence enough that she fucks dogs because she's a white woman. I feel everything else just like continues to prove that point.
So true.
people have been trying to make me think like them, when that is not who I am. I've been cosplaying since 2011, and I was 14 when I started doing it, and I think we could agree that politics back then were not nearly as woke as they are now. But in recent years,
I mean, I wouldn't say that's the case. I wouldn't say, oh, it was like less quote-unquote woke. I think it was less polarizing. I think a lot of people were more in the center. Sure, you had less people on the further left, but you also had less people on the further right. And trust me, I prefer it. I preferred when it was less polarized. Don't get me wrong, but that's not really necessarily on one side or another. Both sides play part in polarization. I would say the media is what really caused that, but, you know.
No, I think you're spot on.
I noticed that the cosplay community I've been in, by being in this cosplay community, I felt like I was in a cult. I could never talk publicly on my cosplay Instagram about being against abortions without being shamed by other cosplayers. They would call me things like anti-abortion, transphobic.
Are you stupid? If you're against abortion, you're anti-abortion. Are you fucking stupid?
That's not an insult when you literally just explain in the same sentence, you're anti-abortion. That's your position. They are describing what you are.
Oh my god! I can't fucking do this anymore.
Phobic, ableist, one of the left's favorite words to use. Fatphobic. Basically anti-leftist labels that the left likes to use a lot to win over an argument.
Wait, why was she accused of ableism?
Oh, okay. She really hates autistic people.
You want to talk about ableism? I can be way more ableist
So
than
true.
you.
See, I'm one to not use the word ableist very liberally because I do think it's very overused. But she is one of the few people that I would actually put into that category.
Yeah.
Like,
if
you're saying, like, straight up, I hate somebody because of their disability, I mean, that is kind of literally the definition of ableism.
Different opinion than the
Hell
woke
yeah.
crowd. I like to use the word retard as an expression.
Okay,
No.
based. The only based thing she's ever said. Cherry,
What?
I think you and I are the council of autists, and I think we can hand her this one singular W.
Yeah, I think the committee has convened and your request has pended board approval, and I think we approve.
We approve.
Because I'm not the type of person, like the left, for example, to use it as a buzzword, like,
You can't say retard, that's ableist.
ableist this and ableist that, all because I'm using a word that the left likes to call a slur.
You know what? She's right, and to be fair, she's very clearly autistic. Like, if anyone should be able to say retard, it's her. Now, she's ableist for other unrelated reasons, but, you know, yeah, I don't disagree with her there.
She gives me the vibe of like those fucking Nazis on 4chan who talk about how much they really hate autistic people, and you can tell it's because they're autistic themselves and super
100%.
insecure about it. It's exactly like that. It's projection.
For sure.
No. Retard is just a word.
Based.
There have been hate pages about me. One now yelling at me for being conservative, because how dare I not conform to the cult. I was banned off TikTok for my first time last year on March 18th, 2022, because I've been treated like shit by other cosplayers. A lot of them are still trying to cancel me and get me off my new TikTok account of 10,000 followers. I'm really hated by my cosplay community for being right-leaning. It's like...
That's not why people hate you. People just don't like pedophiles. I think that's, like, pretty common in, like, all spaces, left, right, somewhere in the middle. I think that's something that pretty much everyone can agree on.
I know you said you interviewed her, but has she addressed the pedophilia stuff at all?
Many times. And I mean, she's basically just admitted to it. I mean, there's a video up on my second channel where it's a clip of her admitting to being into a 9-year-old on a live stream. Like,
oh god.
it's like, yeah.
Like what Blair says about the trans community being a cult, or the fat acceptance movement being a cult. In the trans community, they will preach affirm trans youth, but trans activists will bully detransitioners who transitioned as minors.
Too far gone. This is what I mean.
God.
This is what I mean by hair loss. And it
Oh
just
my
keeps
god,
going
I've
north,
seen
it
this
keeps
guy.
going, keeps receding backwards. I don't really see me personally being able to come back from what's happened so far.
Recently that I also came across from an individual named Casey Miller. Casey began transition at age 15 and is now 21 and is regretting going through hormones and surgery. Now the video was pretty emotional, it was very vulnerable,
God.
and you could tell that Casey is going through a lot of
I know the
anguish,
context they're
mental
leaving out, by the
turmoil
way,
over this,
when they're,
and
if you want me to explain.
Yeah,
it.
what's the context that's being left out?
Okay, so I'm going to try to remember specifically because it has been quite a while since this was in the discourse cycle, but that guy was born a woman and transitioned, I forget if he said as a teenager or whatever, and he presented the video like he was regretting the, transitioning because of the hair loss that he experienced, because fucking newsflash, testosterone will make you like more likely to lose hair. That's why You'll be fine.
I know I
think
will,
you'll be
because
fine.
everyone in my family has a ton of hair.
Yeah, that's how you know. And basically, like, when you are transitioning, though, like, I'm sure you can even testify for this. Like, they explain to you that's one of the effects it will, like, have over, like, over time. So the issue with the video is, one, he was presenting himself like a detransitioner, but in a later tweet, like, literally explicitly said he's not planning on, like, detransitioning or, like, stopping taking HRT, even though he, like, presents the hair loss like it's a regret. And also, what when you start testosterone, like, the effects it has on you are disclosed to you and explained to you. Like, I find it very doubtful he wasn't told one of the most, like, known effects of testosterone wasn't explained to him when he started transitioning.
Menace, can you shut up, please? Thank you. Sorry.
We love Menace.
Another thing I want to say, like, no hate to detransitioners. I know some in real life, and they don't make it like their entire personality. They just go back to their normal lives. Yeah. I have nothing against detransitioners, but ultimately, you chose to do these things. You were told the warnings. You made a mistake. We all make mistakes. Some are bigger than others. It's a shitty situation, and I feel bad for you that happened to you. But ultimately, you know, because it was your decision, you need to take responsibility and basically be like, yeah, I made a bad choice. Nobody made you. Nobody forced you at gunpoint to, you know, get surgery or do HRT or whatever. It sucks. The situation you're in sucks, and I can feel bad for you and respect the fact that you are struggling and have empathy. But blaming other people for your choice, just for like an ounce of internet clout, is incredibly embarrassing.
A lot of detransitioners I've talked to actually have empathy for trans people because they do get that, because they had to go through the process of struggling with their gender, and and that makes sense. They're more likely to have empathy for the trans experience from that. But also, like, I do have empathy for detransitioners they just found out that something didn't work right for them, and there's nothing wrong with that. But also, if you act like no one should be trans because of your individual experience, then that's when I have a problem.
Yeah, I find that also very egotistical, because it's like you're just assuming everybody's like you, and I think that's very childish.
Exactly.
And I think that some people, I think the vast majority of detransitioners do not do this, but the few loud voices, they can't handle the fact that they made a mistake, so they look to blame others.
And of course, the community that validates everyone can't find it in their heart to validate Casey. It is absolutely shitting on Casey. I haven't seen actually this level of hatred, bullying, dogpiling on anyone in a while. And honestly, when I do see this level of it, it pretty much always ends very tragic. Just a correction to Casey. You weren't given hormones as a woman. You're given hormones as a girl. You were 15. How many times do I have to say on this channel?
I do want to also comment. It's really funny to me. She's like, she's talking about how, oh, the 5,000 quote tweets they got on Twitter is like the most vicious harassment I've seen, when most of Blair White's videos are dedicated to like bullying random non-binary kids on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't consent. Like, that's just the most spoken sentence on this channel, I can only assume.
And the leftist trans people, especially activists, will bully Blair for not conforming to their little narrative. Even people by cosplay community seem to really hate Blair. And I've been shamed for supporting her as a fan. Something you may not know about cosplay is that the traditional thing to do anyway is go to an anime convention. I was 16 when I started going and cosplaying there, and I had so much fun. And now that I'm outed as a conservative and every single cosplayer hates me, I just don't see myself going 2Ds. I just don't see myself going.
Based? I went
Hell
to the same convention as her once, and I got a selfie with her to use in my documentary on her. It was awesome.
Having fun at these conventions anymore, especially when I'm going to this really big one next month called KatsuCon.
No, stop. That's where I met her. Me and Nico go to that.
In a couple weeks, actually. And since last year, the woke mob cancels me every year just for simply going. And while I try to enjoy myself...
The woke mob canceled me for being a pedophile.
But how can I enjoy myself?
So true.
When I'm somewhere surrounded by woke crazy people. February 2022.
Yeah, because she's very normal.
Yes. I wonder if she brings up the me coming up to her at KatsuCon. It's not the convention year she's talking about. It was 2019 is the year I did it.
It's the first year I had an awful time at this convention.
No! She didn't have an awful time in 2019 when I bullied her in person. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. I wasn't mean enough. That's fucked.
My first TikTok account
I can't believe they would steal your valor like that.
Yeah, fuck whoever stole my... You know what? I would say fuck whoever stole my bullying valor, but let's be real. We're all in this together, so shout out to them.
Later, when I posted a picture of my Zelda cosplay from Ocarina of Time, I got a comment yelling at me, virtually of course. They were saying,
"Wear your fucking mask!"
And some other woke bull.
Literally a hate crime.
Like, sure, that's a cringe comment. Like, nobody's doing that at conventions in 2022. No, 2022? Yeah, masks were still required at most conventions in 2022, because I went to, ASEN and MomoCon, and both of them required masks. Yeah.
And
ASEN changed their mind about masks last minute, and was really wishy-washy about it, which was really fucking annoying, because nobody knew what they were supposed to be doing. It's like, I don't care which stance you pick, I prefer no masks, but just make a choice, and I'll follow the rules.
Also, I could be remembering wrong, but I remember my friends went to SakuraCon, and I'm pretty sure they said masks were required there. So it's like...
In 2022, every major convention required masks. In 2023, none of them did. They don't anymore.
Oh, interesting.
I think they might require... Some of them require vaccination cards now, but not masks.
Shit, I don't remember. But I do remember when I responded... They responded back, and they were just listing some stuff about my past in a very cancel culture type of way.
Fellas, is it cancel culture to point out the fact that somebody sent nudes to minors?
Dude, you can't dig into my past like that. So what? My arrest sheet says rape of a minor, bro. You're trying to cancel me.
Literally.
Cosplayers are super woke, super preachy about wearing a COVID mask for some reason, despite COVID ceasing to be, especially in the upcoming years. Thankfully, recent conventions I went to have lifted the mask mandate, like New York Comic Con in October a couple months ago, but I'm still getting accused of refusing to wear a mask.
I honestly did not experience these issues.
I'll get them shorter with what I
Not
say.
that I should care. I hate wearing a mask, and it sucks having to wear one. And I see so many cosplayers now preaching about making a handmade COVID mask. Some have even told me I should match a COVID mask with my cosplay, which is...
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a good idea. If you have to wear a mask, you might as well match it with your cosplay and have it look cool. I mean, that's what I did when there were mask mandates at conventions. It's like, you're making the best of a situation. Like, I don't really know why she's thinking that's like a bad thing. Like, I mean, would you rather them just bitch and cry? It's not like you're gonna get the rules changed by whining. You might as well make the best of it. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like you could get creative with that also in making it apply to specific things. So like, yeah, it's kind of annoying and an inconvenience, but I can't believe like this is one of her main points for
Right.
why I'm leaving the left.
It's something I'm not gonna do. And, you know, if you want to do that, that's fine. But something I've always taken seriously as a cosplay for 11 years, 95% of anime characters and video game characters do not wear COVID masks.
Yeah, her obsession with looking accurate to a character has driven her to do blackface. So take that as you will.
Accuracy ruined. But because wearing a mask now makes you look woke and politically correct, unless someone like myself, for example, is under a circumstance where I'm wearing one out of obligation, like, it's okay to be obligated. You're not a selfish person to not want to wear a mask. A lot of people are happy to not wear one anymore. My mom is a liberal, and she hates wearing the COVID mask.
I mean, yeah, like, I'm happy about it too, but I'm also not throwing a tantrum that I had to wear it in the past.
Something else the cosplay community really likes to preach about is fat acceptance. Basically, when they preach about it by, I don't know, basically manipulating you, shouting from the rooftops,
Cosplayers, fix your effing fat phobia, or else.
And I've been called fatphobic,
This bitch
even
is
though fatphobia is not
anti-fatphobic.
really a thing. And I've been
Or
making the argument that
pro-fatphobic,
being
I mean.
fat does.
So, she has like a... As you can tell, she's not necessarily a healthy weight.
Yeah,
she
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. She used to Photoshop herself to look skinnier and stuff. And I mean, she has said some like anti-fat stuff before. It's not like really her main thing. I have not seen her do it in a long time. Like, I've not even really seen anyone criticize her for that in years, so I don't like know if she's talking about like shit that happened in like 2018 or like what, because I've not seen anyone bring this up about her in like 5 years.
Yeah, I feel like this might be I think this might be being brought up as an excuse to talk about the other not so great stuff the left canceled her for.
I think similar to like the fact she doesn't like autistic people, I think she doesn't like fat people because, you know, she is fat. Like,
Projection, exactly.
I mean, that's... Yeah, I mean, she's posted before about, like, trying to lose weight and stuff, so, like, good for her and all, but, you know... I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this is not, like, the biggest point, because I don't even really think this is, like, something that people really, like, bring up about her a lot. She seems like the type of motherfucker to be on ED Twitter, but go off.
Yeah. Dude, ED Twitter people are so funny when they're like being all mean. It's like, oh, you're just a little hangry. It's okay.
I'm keeping that quote in.
Doesn't make you oppressed. It's usually a choice. I talked to this.
Okay, hot take, I disagree. It's a choice for some people, sure. I absolutely agree. There are some people who choose to eat unhealthy. However, there are some people, well, there's a few things. There are some people who just medically they are born with genetics that they are going to be overweight. There are also, especially poor people, the food that is the cheapest is also unhealthy. If you can only fucking afford chips, you're going to be fat. And it's not like, oh, I'm choosing to eat chips because I like them. I'm choosing to be fat. There are a lot of people who are poor who would eat healthier if they could.
Yeah, I really fucking hate how these people, they view health so black and white, and it actually irritates the fuck out of me. They're like, being fat means you're unhealthy and it's your fault. Well, like, what if you injure yourself and you're no longer able to exercise for a really long time? You're obviously, it's going to be like way easier to gain weight from that.
Or the people like, who went on the like lupus medication and gained weight. It's like, obviously they need that medication to save their lives. Like, and there's nothing they can do about that weight gain. Like, I understand for some people it's a choice, sure. But I don't even know what percentage of people that would be. But it's definitely not everybody.
Exactly.
Trans guy I thought was my friend on at the time. And at least we were being adults about it, but we were debating if fat phobia is real or not. It's not. Well, and he said to me...
God.
I mean, I think that in terms of like phobia, you can discriminate based... I think if you can discriminate somebody based off of something like that, yeah, I think the word makes sense. You're discriminating based on weight.
Yeah, and also phobia in this context, I'm not sure if you knew this, it doesn't mean fear. It means you have an aversion to something.
Oh yeah, I
and
know.
And she clearly has an aversion to fat people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not unfair.
Well, I gained 30 pounds from taking testosterone, and my grandma was 300 pounds before she died. Okay, but...
Me when I gained 40 pounds. When I started testosterone. I lost most of it already because I started lifting. And I'm still like losing more, but it's like... It sucked. I'm like at a healthy weight and stuff. I'm not in any way overweight, thankfully.
That's good.
But, you know.
Those are exceptions, and there are exceptions to every rule.
Okay, so she admits that not everybody chooses to be fat. She needs to take this next step and not be like, well, it's only a few exceptions, and realize there's a lot of people like her ex-friend that exist.
Yes, the common side effects of taking a hormone like that is weight gain, absolutely. However, the exception is not the rule. I was watching a video by Michelle McDaniel talking about PCOS.
What is that fucking thumbnail? What is
God.
that?
That's an abomination.
What does PCOS mean?
A hormonal disorder causing enlarged ovaries with small cysts on the outer edges.
That sounds stressful. Okay.
So I went around saying in 2021 that having it is not an excuse to get bigger and put on more weight.
And weight. And she blames all of her weight gain on something called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Okay, that might be a stretch, but I have never heard her say that she eats too much. Whenever I watch the show and her weight/struggle comes up, she brings up PCOS.
I hate people thinking that I'm lazy. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. That's PCOS for short.
You should want to do something to prevent the weight gain.
Bro, she's running in the clips. What else do you want her to
God.
do?
Lurch.
Like, I don't know anything about that disease or whatever. I don't know anything. But she's running in that clip. I don't know. It's like when people like post videos of like fat people at the gym, I want to fucking strangle them. It's like,
yeah.
They're actually going and bettering themselves. What the fuck do you want them to do? You bitch that they're fat, and then when they actually try and go and lose weight, you bitch. So there's no winning.
She also seems to be doing more to lose weight than this person is, for sure.
True.
And oh my god, so many cosplayers flipped out when I said that. When I was just stating a scientific
And everyone
fact.
clapped.
A scientific fact, like, your opinion is not a scientific fact. Like, I hate people on the internet, dude.
I understand that gaining weight isn't always from overeating, but if you have something, for example, like PCOS, you're 200 pounds overweight, it's really not an excuse to be obese, if not already morbidly obese and unhealthy.
My brother in Christ, you are obese.
Yeah,
like that's...
I'm sure.
Her weight, what she looks like, that's considered, like, quote-unquote obese. And, I mean, again, I'm not hating, okay? Like, I'm not hating, I'm just saying, like, something stones in glass houses.
Especially the more overweight you are, the more likely you're gonna die.
I mean,
that's
yeah.
why I want to lose weight. And suffer from health problems.
That's another thing that really bugs me about these people.
I understand.
What is another thing that bugs you?
Like, these people always state, like, hey, did you know gaining more weight will have negative impacts on you? As if, like, people who are overweight have no idea that
That's
the
the
case.
thing, like, you don't need to, like, constantly remind them. If you make them feel helpless, they're not gonna, like, feel motivated to better themselves, because they already feel like they're doomed, like, they have this fucking predetermined destiny. It sucks.
And I'm not skinny myself. Now listen, I was wrong to come across a fat person and say to them, lose weight. That was wrong, I'll admit it.
Self-reflection
But now the left, even leftists who cosplay, are glorifying being unhealthily overweight.
Oh my god.
Then
I think there's a difference between glorifying being overweight and, like, saying, like, hey, this person
Normalizing
exists and I'm not their doctor, so I don't need to constantly shame them.
And at the time I saw this cosplayer I was following, I unfollowed her eventually. She was very woke. But in her post, in her Instagram story, there was a cosplay website for what they like to call plus-size cosplayers, which is a compassionate way of saying obese or morbidly obese. And
I mean,
Not
so
necessarily.
do they not get to, like, cosplay, though? Like, I mean, maybe they want to have a website where people can, like, find that if they're into that. Like, I mean, do they just not get to cosplay?
And not just that, it was a cosplay website for obese people.
Maybe she does have the brain
to
of a
find larger
child, and
sizes
that's why
that
she's a
exceed the
pedophile.
Asian 3X size on Amazon when they buy a cosplay. And I was even saying at the time, imagine being so fat that you even exceed the weight limit of an Amazon cosplay in Asian size.
To be fair, Asian size is way smaller. I used to be really underweight. And I was like an Asian extra small, which was like child size. Like you could fit a fucking 12-year-old in that.
I was also saying how this website shouldn't exist because it's enabling obese people instead of having a kind of motivation, for example, to lose weight and fit into...
Do you not think these people don't have enough motivation for, like, health reasons and general stigma in society? Yeah, because the most pressing problem in their life is what fucking cosplay they're able to get from Amazon. Like, seriously? If they're not already quote-unquote motivated by actually important things, this is gonna do nothing. Like, that's stupid. That's just dumb.
Smaller sizes, and they'll be healthy too if they decide to lose weight. And the motivation, even if the motivation really is I want to fit into clothes better, my weight has been up and down since turning 21. I've lost weight and I've gained weight, but I still strive to be healthy. I remember when I was 22, I lost 18 pounds in a year, and the thought of fitting into almost from an extra large to a size large really made me excited. And I even went from a size 16 to 14 in jeans.
See, that's good that that motivated you, but like, not everybody has the same motivation.
A big thing that influenced my perspective on this is realizing I think it's pretty safe to say the majority of people don't enjoy being unhealthy. And if they're doing things that make them unhealthy, there's probably some things going on that's causing that within their lives. So to have this like extremely moralistic view of it, like, oh, if you're not trying, then it's your fucking fault, and your society accommodating you makes you a stain on everyone. Like, no. People are complicated.
Now I lost so much weight that I went from an 18 to a size 16 in jeans. My highest weight has been 220. During COVID, I gained 10 pounds, and before that, I was close to the 200s.
Yep.
And the weight gain didn't stop until I watched Michelle McDaniel on YouTube talk about the fat acceptance movement. And hearing her talk about it really motivated me to get serious about losing weight. So last year, I went from weighing 220 pounds in May to almost 200 pounds in September. But then October hit and my weight slowed down. I started to say to myself, well, I'm happy now that I'm 20 pounds lighter, so I'll just cheat a little as long as I'm careful. Well, guess what? I went back to my old habits and I gained all of my weight back.
And that's
What happens?
No,
So-
we're good.
So here I am, starting over, hoping that it'll be successful this time. And when I talked about it on the Cosplay Left, I had no support from anyone. And I kind of got made fun of because of my history of failing diets. But let's move.
It's not your history of failing diets that people are making fun of you for. I've never seen someone make fun of you for that. They're making fun of your history with children.
Also, I'll be honest with you. I doubt that the plus size accepting woke left spaces she claims she was a part of were mocking her for trying to lose
I've
weight.
never seen a single person mock her for that. And I see a lot of the shit people say about her. If they have, I guess shame on them, but like
we
have
disavow.
not seen that happen at all.
I don't endorse bullying her for being fat. I endorse bullying her for being a pedophile.
The only fat-related thing I'll bully her for is photoshopping her pictures to look skinnier. That specifically. But that's not me bullying her for being fat. That's me bullying her for photoshopping her pictures.
Yeah, for being insecure and also being a crybaby about it.
Pretty much.
Move on to Roe versus Wade.
Oh my god. I can't believe... Mango, why would you be so cruel and call her anti-abortion?
Oh my god.
I've always been against abortion, and I never thought it was okay to kill a baby.
I feel like she's against abortion because she should have been aborted.
Oh. Also, I gotta say, her taking the bold stance against killing babies, I'm really proud of her for that one. Like, no one was brave enough to say it, but we got a conservative super soldier and also pedophile kingpin over here.
No, she's anti-abortion because that would mean less children for her to groom.
Oh my god.
But so many cosplayers I followed at the time. On Instagram, they were really preachy about abortion. It was insane. I was even friends with someone at the time who got mad at me for expressing how I'm against abortion. Like, oh my god, so what if I don't want to kill babies? Here's even more backwards thing about the abortion topic. So I'm evil and problematic, according to the left.
So true.
Because I refuse to kill
Yeah,
a
you
baby.
are.
She's like, I refuse to kill a baby. Now sending nudes to a baby, I'm cool with that.
Sexualizing babies. Now that...
I refuse to support the idea of killing a baby, but if you scream, my body, my choice, kill my baby, that makes you inherently good.
No one's saying
one
that.
is saying
not
this.
Not a single person has ever said that. So much of conservatism is inventing people to be mad at.
No, Cherry, you don't understand. All the psyops are saying this. It's okay. It's unironically, though, probably.
Real.
Shouldn't it be the other way around? Can you see how that's very backwards? I couldn't even celebrate Columbus Day. Or
That's your
Oh my
fucking
God.
problem? That's what you're all upset about? This is... Get real fucking problems. Dude, oh my god. If
This
you're
is the
upset
first
about
time.
Columbus Day, just kill yourself at this point. Just give up. Why bother? You've never faced a real problem in your life. Who cares? What fucking person has ever thought about Columbus Day in a positive way in any aspect other than, yay, I get a day off from school when you're like 9? Who cares? Genuinely, who cares? Who cares? Just who cares? Is this like something that people care about?
I legitimately can't tell if she's lying or if she's actually this retarded.
Oh,
'cause
she is. I promise.
I've never seen someone... Okay, even the conservatives who do, like, weaponize Columbus Day to trigger the libs or whatever, I don't see them, like, literally doing, like, celebration stuff for, like, maybe some events in some places, but Like, what the fuck?
It's just a day off school.
It's the day the post office is closed. That's all it is.
Halloween anymore without some snowflake throwing a shit fit.
Wait, what? Hold up. I'm gonna go back.
Rewind that.
My body, my choice, kill my baby. That makes you inherently good. Shouldn't it be the other way around? Can you see how that's very backwards? I couldn't even celebrate Columbus Day or Halloween anymore.
Wait, why does she think she can't celebrate Halloween?
Because they don't let her do blackface costumes anymore.
Oh, so true.
Without some snowflake throwing a shit fit who also cosplays like me. Dressing up as a Native American is not racist. I dressed up.
Oh.
I knew it. I called it.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. And I just heard I dressed up as, oh my god, there's no fucking way. I didn't know that, actually.
As Pocahontas at Disney World when I was 8. It's been done for decades, so calm down. I don't think I've ever mentioned how the cosplay community has a lot of trans people in it, mostly female to male, and that would...
You know what? Okay. The fact that she's gonna make a gross point of this aside, every trans person I knew growing up, because I cosplayed, was female to male. She's right. It's disproportionate. But now that I'm, like, on Twitter, it's the opposite. It's like, whoa. You're, like, segregated. Why are we segregated? But, I mean, it's like, is it really surprising that a community where you dress up as characters as the opposite gender has a lot of trans people in it? Whoa. Crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe that's also why she doesn't like Halloween, because I do know a lot of trans people who, like, their first experiences getting to experiment was on Halloween.
Mine was honestly cosplay.
That makes sense.
It'd be fine if they weren't preaching classic leftist fashion.
Respect my pronouns, or else you're a bigot.
Nobody is doing this. No, like, you'll get, like, a few crazy people who literally believe they're fictional characters who will do this. Nobody likes those people. They're far and few in between in cosplay. I don't think I've ever had a single person, like, be like that the entire time I cosplayed. I've never seen that happen.
We're like an hour into this recording, and I haven't even mentioned yet. I have a very long public track record of criticizing leftists who I feel are overly sensitive or, like, lash out at people over stupid reasons.
Literally.
But even with all that, with how much I've spent fighting these fucking woke scolds, like, I still acknowledge they're not that much of a fucking threat to their country or to other people around them. They're just on Twitter or on TikTok, and that's where their power, like, begins and ends.
Like, if somebody uses the wrong pronouns for me, I don't even like correct them and say or else. I don't even correct them. I don't say anything. Like, if it's like a friend of mine and they don't know, I'll nicely mention, like, oh, I'm trans now, by the way, I forgot to tell you. But if it's some, like, random person or employee I'm never gonna see again, why the fuck would I bother being like, actually, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not being hate crimed, I don't care. And I think most trans people feel that way.
Yeah, and also, like, even trans people who get, like, pretty upset or offended by it, most of the ones I've seen who do are, like, even still quiet about it and don't, like, freak out, and they kind of just stay silent and move on. Like,
exactly.
Trans men are men.
Despite not being born men.
I mean, they are. It's like, bro. Like,
look at the size
with the amount of men I've taken in fights, clearly I must be one. And I did that before I was a man. The fuck? Never lost a fight.
And calling trans men real men takes away and erases the part about being transgender.
No, the fuck it doesn't. What are you talking about?
Wow, what does that even mean?
What is she waffling about?
Like, you can be trans and a man. They're not like exclusive.
Yeah, there are trans men, and they are men, and there are tall men, and they are also men. There are short men who are men. Like, you can be a lot of things and also be a man.
That whole
and
thing
trans
that's
men
like,
just happen to be trans.
I saw that one tweet that's like, trans women aren't women because you have trans before women, and it's like, so short women aren't women? Tall women aren't women? Like, do you know what a fucking adjective is?
Is every square a rectangle?
Literally.
It's like that.
Literally.
Trans people were real men and women, and they were exactly the same as real men and women, then the word transgender wouldn't exist. I also see
no one says they're exactly the same, but no man or woman is the same either. Like, again, you can be short or tall, your skin color can be different, your hair can be different, like, your fucking titty size and dick size can be different. Like, wow, that's crazy. Like, it's just wild. It's
and even things we commonly associate with genders, like we commonly think men are strong, but also like in different cultures they have a different idea of like what men being strong looks like in terms of masculinity. Like, you're going to find differences everywhere you look, even if you find things you can latch onto. Like,
even with height, it varies by like culture or like genetics too.
Yeah, exactly.
non-binary women who cosplay will have the classic non-binary look, face piercings, dyed hair, or both.
The classic non-binary.
Oh my god.
I love how she says specifically non-binary women. Like, that's kind of like a, what's the word? Oxymoron, right?
No, exactly.
Because it contradicts itself. How are you gonna be non-binary and a woman?
It's because she doesn't see non-binary.
I know.
people as
That's what
non-binary.
I'm criticizing. Yeah.
It's because she thinks they're women for looking for attention.
Exactly.
When I see them pop up on my For You page, and I'm like, I'm gonna take a wild guess and assume this girl is non-binary. Then I go to her TikTok page just to look at her pronouns, and it says they, them, and I'm like, oh, I'm right. Non-binary people,
And then
especially
everyone
the non-binary women, really look the same.
Do they though? Do they though? Because the non-binary people I know do not look the same at all.
Yeah, yeah. You're not gonna find bigger variety than in a Google search for non-binary people.
Literally. It's like, sure, you're gonna find the ones that like are speaking the loudest and getting the most attention. And guess what? People like goths. Like, that's what it comes down to, is the internet likes goths. That's why that's what you're seeing.
Real.
Like, I've seen right-leaning trans people and other conservatives point it out. I think you should watch Mish Petrov talk about the they-them label.
I don't think I should.
Yeah,
She looks like she's about to, like, say the N-word. Like, I don't think... Okay! So, she just got done saying what she thinks non-binary people look like and describing them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. None of those people in that thumbnail look like what she's described. At all.
Yeah,
Not a single one. This fucking thumbnail, like, just disproves her whole point.
It makes sense to me now why she's a conservative, because it's a requirement for conservatives to be unable to engage in reality even when it's right in front of them. So it's starting to like all come together for me now.
So true.
It has to be my favorite video she did so far, because people are too afraid to call it out, and if they do, they can get backlash for it, myself included, as I'm posting this video. I've been called transphobic for agreeing with Blair White on Instagram, tagging her watching her video.
What were you agreeing
saying
with?
that kids
You don't tell us
cannot
what you were agreeing
consent.
with.
I don't know, but given it's Blair White, I'm gonna assume it's transphobic.
Yep.
To something as life-altering as transitioning, especially with the rise of detransitioners.
There's not a rise, though. Like, okay, if there's more trans people, there's going to be more detransitioners. But if the ratio stays the same, detransitioners are not on the rise. It's the statistic that matters. But no, the people on the right have no fucking, like, if they had a gun pointed to their head and, like, someone was like, read this graph or I kill you, all of them would die.
Yep.
Not just that, but trans activists I thought about watching before leaving the left were actually bullying detransitioners. But the hypocrisy is that they preach about protect trans youth, right? Affirm trans youth. But they will bully and try to censor detransitioners who transitioned as young kids. I understand that transitioning can benefit someone and give them a good life, but on the other hand, transitioning can ruin someone's life, especially with these young kids who grew out of the gender dysphoria. Maybe it was a phase, maybe they were misdiagnosed.
I mean, like, yeah, like, then why are, like, I mean, but, yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. Like,
I also want...
Huh?
I really want to bring up also, she did go over discourse that happened with a specific detransitioner or, like, someone who framed themselves as a detransitioner getting bullied, but she has provided no examples, like, direct examples of, like, people being mean to him. So she's, like, building her entire case off of zero evidence.
Yeah, I don't think that, except for, I think the only detransitioners I ever see get bullied are the ones that are like, being trans should be outlawed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't care if you detransition. It doesn't, like, affect me at all. Do whatever makes you happy. I don't know, stupid.
Maybe there were just feminine boys and masculine girls. And we're teaching children now that if a boy likes Barbies, then they're actually a girl.
Nobody is doing this. That...
Oh shit!
Oh my god, that just scared me.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm like, Tipster, is that you? When did Tipster
I had to play it.
Literally.
I was waiting for an opportunity to use it on her, because that's the energy I want to throw at her.
Yes.
Or if a girl likes boy things or like to dress like a boy, then they're actually a boy.
No one's saying this.
So I don't talk about
Literally
this a lot,
never
but
happened.
I have a younger brother, and when we were little, he would put on my dresses. Now this makes me so glad.
I don't wanna
I'm
think
a
about her
millennial and
having.
he's Gen Z, but because back then, the types of parents that are now like, well, if you're wearing dresses, then you're actually a girl. You're not a boy. Thank God those type of parents didn't exist during our time.
Thank God
When
those
has this
parents
happened?
still fucking don't exist. That's
Give me one.
Yeah, give me one
give me
example.
Just one. I just want a singular one. Then I'll give it to you. Then I'll hear you out. But please, we need at least one example. Find me the one kid this has happened to.
Literally.
Then maybe I'll hear you out.
As young kids. Maybe my brother was a little bit feminine when he was little, but now he's 22 and acts more masculine. He's such a boy, he is. It's really obvious to me now how being a little feminine, a feminine little boy, could have been a phase for him. And that's not transphobic to say. There are studies done on transgender children that they can grow out of gender dysphoria by puberty. There are trans people who still have it as adults, but there are exceptions with everything. I myself was brainwashed by the idea that if transgender children are affirmed, then they'll happily live life.
The affirmation people are talking about is literally just like letting them use a chosen name and wear what clothes they want. They're not getting surgeries. I don't know anyone who's advocating for giving kids surgeries, because it ain't me.
Yeah, also, like, even if it ends up... I think we touched on this earlier, but even if it ends up being a phase, like, So, did that hurt anyone if you're able to like go back to the old name?
Yeah,
you want, or
did wearing
your
clothes
pronoun?
and going by a different name hurt anybody? No.
Yeah, people do all sorts of like different things when they're like figuring their self-identity out in the world, and that just happens to be one of them. But because it's woke, she has an issue.
Literally.
Happily as the opposite sex. But again, I saw more detransitioners pop up. They transitioned as kids and they regretted their transitions. My heart breaks, especially for the female detransitioner, because taking testosterone as a girl or a woman seems to have even more permanent side effects than estrogen.
You literally grow boobs if you take estrogen. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't at all buy that. I want to see some studies or what's making her come
they
to
would
that conclusion.
probably be equal, because I'm trying to think. I mean, you permanently have tits.
Yeah,
if
it
you
also
take
depends
estrogen.
on.
But to be fair, no, actually, that's not true. Because yeah, sure, the voice is permanent with testosterone, but you can voice train and get back to a female voice. I mean, I guess the hair shaving, but you're not even gonna get that much.
Yeah, it also depends on like how testosterone specifically affects someone and what they consider like more like a permanent thing than other things they may or may not lose.
But I mean, if we're just talking about like noticeability, like I think boobs would be very noticeable, and you grow boobs on estrogen. I don't know. It sucks for both detransitioner genders. I don't think one is worse than the other.
I remember I did the research before deciding. I thought I was trans at the time, and I thought about transitioning just because I wanted to be a man sometimes. But maybe I have mild gender dysphoria, even if it's not that bad, and I'm still okay with being a girl.
Oh my god. It's always projection.
Everything.
Always.
The autism hatred, the fat hatred, the trans hatred. Is she gonna come out as black sometime? Maybe that's why she hates black people so much.
I mean, she did try to come out as black. That's why she did blackface.
True.
And I'm gender fluid. Anyway, the side effects from taking hormones.
Wait, so she's just talked about how non-binary people aren't real, but then says she's gender fluid.
I want to bash my head into a brick
I'm so
wall.
fucking confused. All right, let's keep watching the video.
Weight gain, acne, facial hair.
Okay, weight gain and acne can fucking go away. Like, you can like go off testosterone and that'll stop.
Loss and obvious side effects that is the longer you take, your voice gets deeper and it settles. But of course there are exceptions as to everything. I watched Blair interview this one detransitioner who had a feminine voice.
So my voice is deeper. I've been told my voice does not sound very deep, but it used to be higher. I used to be very like bubblegum Powerpuff Girls style talker. I have more body hair than I used to. I have a little bit of a mustache and some face fuzz that I shave sometime. It's not too bad.
It's not too bad, she's literally saying.
I think it's possible my face got a little more angular and bony, but I have a pretty square head, so it's really hard to say where that comes in. But you know, the shape of my body, like the testosterone, you know, it made me like skinnier and leaner and muscular, and that all kind of went away, and I became more soft and squishy again.
Despite taking that hormone and cutting off her breasts. But I was happy for her that the consequences didn't seem that bad for her as I was observing her. But I could be wrong. There are also female detransitioners who are not so lucky to have their voice go back to being feminine.
You can voice train! What do you fucking think male to female do? Like, what? Are you stupid?
after
Number
coming off the
15,
testosterone.
detransitioner.
Tagged
The
Blair
last thing you
White,
want if you
defending her,
transition.
and her fans saw my story, and I started talking to them, and we were really hitting it off with how much we could agree on. So thank you, Blair, if you're watching.
Big Rider.
Dude, imagine fucking Blair White's watching this like 500 view video.
It's
I've
actually
DM'd
so-
Blair once, actually. Fun fact. Cause
Really? About what?
TLDR, do you know, you probably know about the whole Desmond is amazing thing. The one thing I really agreed with Blair on was that he was like placed unsupervised with a like convicted sex offender. And that was fucked. And we talked about that because we both made a video on the same thing. I liked some of her shit a long time ago before she got more extreme, but yeah.
Or I wouldn't be talking to these other conservatives. At first, I thought
Mango.
being banned off.
What?
You know who else was a fan of Blair White?
Bibsy Pop?
Yep.
Wait, really?
Yeah, she was. She drew. Remember, you sent me that she drew art of Blair and Stonehead.
Fuck! That's so funny.
It all comes together.
It all comes together.
Off TikTok permanently and never using it again put me under a lot of stress and anxiety because I thought what I wanted was to entertain people with cosplay and be creative and artistic.
Listen, you entertain us, just not in the way you intend to. I promise.
Yep.
You entertain.
And I am at it, but now as I'm recording, I've been learning to accept that I may not have a TikTok platform again.
During
Because
this
when I say
recording,
I'm
I've done
feeling
a
like
lot of character
I'm living
growth.
a lie.
Yeah.
I mean that none of my followers on TikTok knew. They don't know that I'm conservative. And to keep my platform, I had to pretend to be something I'm not.
What do you fucking think gay people go through? Like,
wait.
And that is pretending to be woke and liberal. And I was living a lie because that's how bad I wanted to make content. But if I'm successful with YouTube content and expressing my views, then all hope is not lost. Because I don't just want to disappear like cosplayers want me to.
Unrelated, but I can hear an aquarium in her background. And it's like, bro, why are you recording in the room with your aquarium? I have like so many aquariums. Dude, it would be fucking overpowering if I recorded in the other room.
Spent years trying to figure out who I am, and now I know who I am politically, and I'm settled with it. I'm at peace, despite the backlash I may get from the left, the more I express my opinions. So I had some videos planned
That was the
I didn't get a
cringiest
chance
shit
to
I've
talk
seen.
about.
The fucking hair flip.
Yeah.
Because that's when I was still technically on the left. But I do have some videos already. I already have scripts written for them in my teleprompter. I think for my future content, I'll talk about how the cosplay community is very left-leaning and very woke and all the things that make the cosplay community like a cult in a toxic way, just like the left. Misha Petrov made a video about this recently as I'm recording this.
This thumbnail makes me want to kill myself, by the way.
Yeah. It's
Dude,
so
she looks
embarrassing.
like she looks so AI generated. You can see how photoshopped her face is.
No, exactly, and oh my god, even the stroke outline, like you can see where she messed up, and it's not smooth.
It's awful.
But it's
Graphic
actually
design is my
embarrassing.
passion.
Her only sources in this video have been other YouTubers that came in her For You page or in her recommended.
Literally.
That's where her ideology stems from. That's how easy it is to influence her.
There's also some right-leaning topics I plan to talk about that I'm too late to because I was too afraid to talk about them. Like I said before, I was afraid of getting backlash. And I want to see, maybe you could see how I do my cosplay makeup. You could do a get ready with me or something like that. Okay, so I think that concludes this introduction. If you enjoyed this video, and if you're not liberal, typing in the comments about how I'm wrong and bigoted, then please hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, except
Oh
for
my
the fact
God.
that comments are turned off.
What? Was she getting hate? What is it? Because people brought up the pedophilia?
Probably.
Oh my God, coward!
Anyways, I think we only had time to watch that one today, but
For safety concerns, I really don't think we should expose ourselves to even more brain rot after this.
Well, damn, we only got through one video. I expected to be able to cover more than one, but God, there was just so much to unpack. Let me know in the comments if you'd like us to react to more content, and make sure you subscribe to both this channel and the Fruitcast, and we will catch you on the flip side.